Hi, I'm Sarah Schneider. I'm KMFA's morning host, and I am here with Monica Baeza, who is a high school senior, and she was the winner of the KMFA Violin, which means that her performance made her able to play the KMFA violin, which is a replica of a 1742 Guarneri del Gesù built by William Townsend and donated by the Amati Foundation. So welcome, Monica. Thank you for being my guest today. And before we hear you play, she did bring the violin with her. I have a few questions for you. So has music always been a part of your life?
Actually my grandfather had played before, so he used to play the violin, and so it has been part of our family, but it wasn't until I got into this program, Awesome Sound Waves, that I actually played an instrument, and that was an actual way for music to be a part of my life.
Excellent. And so was there one moment that really made you want to pick up the violin as opposed to, say, the flute, or?
I guess because it was the most popular instrument, I would say that made it stand out. But I know that my parents always wanted us to play the violin because she would tell us how my grandfather used to play it and how it would be so cool if I would play it, and that's mainly the reason why I have chosen the violin.
All right.
Yeah.
And so how did you feel when you learned that you would be the recipient of the KMFA violin?
I felt very excited. I don't know if y'all remember, but when I actually got it, I was very shocked, and I was very speechless. And but at the inside, I was so excited. I wanted to tell my parents, and I guess my parents were there, and so they saw. And my dad wasn't there, but my mom was there. And so when I told my dad, he's very excited about me getting this violin, and I was like, yeah, I got this amazing violin. It was donated by KMFA, and he was like, I'm so proud of you. If your grandfather was here, he would be very, very proud of you.
That's beautiful. So it's such a commitment to learn how to play an instrument. I mean, you have to practice for hours, and I'm sure you have lessons. So who or what motivates you and keeps you inspired?
I would say my teachers, my mom, and my dad. Yeah.
Excellent. And so what are some of the pieces that maybe you've discovered that you really love, or just some of your favorite pieces?
Some of my favorite pieces are actually not even violin pieces.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're more I really like the Moonlight Sonata, and maybe it's so cliche because a lot of everybody knows what it is, but it's one of my favorite ones because it's very emotional, and but there's other pieces that are not part of not classical, and they're more more Mexican tradition pieces, and playing those kind of pieces actually reminds me of when I went to Mexico and visited my whole family, because that's where my family's part of, and so Mexican pieces are basically my most favorite ones to play.
Excellent. So sometimes you hear musicians talk about that their instruments have character or a personality. If the KMFA violin has a personality, can you share what that is?
This KMFA violin does have a character. It's very, very loud, and you can really hear it. I would say it's one of those out there, and that's basically my violin. My violin is very open, very loud. It's just very out there, there.
Yeah.
It's just there. It's very open though. Yeah.
Excellent. So if you could meet one composer or performer, past or present, it doesn't matter, who would that be?
One performer. It would have to be, I'd say, I would like to meet Hillary Hahn. Because I know she's like really good violinist. She's like one of the best.
Yeah.
And I would really like to meet her. And especially since she's like a woman and she's playing the violin. And I'm a girl. I'm a female. And so I would like to meet another female who's playing the violin. Who's like, cause she's like really good, and so I want to see her play in front of me. So I want to be one of her audience members and be there and meet her.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, she was here, I don't even know, not that many years ago. She performed with the Austin Symphony, and she came to the station, and I got to meet her, and she is just one of the coolest people you would ever want to meet. So, you know, sometimes the symphony brings people back again. So if she ever comes back to the station, I'll give you a call. How does that sound?
That sounds cool.
All right, we'll do that. So sometimes you hear people say things like, oh, classical music doesn't matter in our world anymore. What would you say to people who say that?
I think they're wrong, because classical music actually ties us to our past, a lot of our past, and currently I'm taking an ACC British Literature class, and I remember my British literature teacher showing us this piece, this really ancient piece of music, sang by a woman, and this piece was just, like, you can tell what was going on during that time, like, this music told me a whole story. And I think if you say classical music is just not as important, or is not, like, shouldn't exist, it's not something, it's wrong, because classical music ties us to some past of ours, and classical music is like the international language, besides math and science. But music, everybody listens to music, everybody has some sort of beat and rhythm, and I think music ties us, it's a way for all of us to enjoy something, all of us to agree on music, and I would say that classical music isn't something that should be non-existent.
Very well said. I couldn't agree more. So, what do you like to do when you're not in school and not practicing?
Not in school and not practicing. Well, see, that's a hard part, because usually I'm at school and I'm practicing. But I do like to hang out with my friends and my family. I like the regular kid stuff. And I do like going outside, and when my parents want to take us out, that's like my favorite moment. And I like playing frisbee, volleyball, that kinds of things. But yeah, that's some of my leisure things to do.
But otherwise, they keep you really busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, one last question. What are your future plans? Do you know what you want to be, as they say?
I want to continue in music, but I also want to be an oncologist. So I want to become a doctor, and I want to research cancer, and because I just feel like it's important. Like, it's something that we should be doing. We should be looking into. And there's not many doctors, not many oncologists out there, but I would want to be one. Yeah.
All right. Excellent goals. Well, Monica, it's been a huge pleasure. Thank you for coming in today, and thank you for this interesting interview, and we'd love to hear you play if you'd like.
Yeah.
All right.
Fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.